Okay, so it's NaNoWriMo, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I apologize for the atrocious lighting. I am too lazy to try to film anywhere else other than my bed. Just to clarify, I do know what I'm doing, alright? Just because I only got like, 2 hours of sleep last night does not mean that I've gone insane. What I mean is I don't know what's happening with my NaNoWriMo. I have characters and they're great. One of them hasn't come in yet. A new one just randomly showed up. It wasn't even supposed to be there, so that's cool. And my main character is microwaving her phone right now. So it's a real struggle. I guess a better thing might be to say, I don't know how to describe what I'm doing. My story. The best term I can think of for my story is rural fantasy. To explain this, we have to take a look at the book which, in a roundabout way, actually sort of inspired my story. And here it is. Oh my goodness, I don't know how this happened. That's actually not the title of the book, though probably it should be. Let's just get rid of that. The book I'm talking about is, of course, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I don't have a copy of it because why would I have a copy of a book I don't have any intention on ever reading again? Why?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Basically, urban fantasy is modern fantasy set in a city. City of Bones is set in New York. Basically, the magical fairy land of magical people, I don't remember the terms because I don't care about that book, is kind of hidden underneath the normal world of New York, the world where the Mundys live. Dang it, I didn't want to care. Why do I care? If any of you have read my blog, you know that I love to hate on this book series. I'll put links to those blog posts down in the description below. Check them out if you've got time. Please check them out, I need validation. Immediately after I read the book, I wanted to write a parody of this urban fantasy, but make it like set in the country, make it really dumb and like an obvious parody. Very satirical. Surprise, surprise, I didn't actually have the time to commit to something like that. So I decided to put that on hold and then commit to it at a later time when I still didn't have any time to commit to it, because that's how grown-ups make decisions. I am a grown-up, so there you go.
I've come to talk with you again.
So anyways, the idea of rural fantasy is just the same, except it's set specifically in a rural environment. In my case, a small town in Indiana, because that's what I know, right? Which you know, unless you don't want to, because there are no rules, except grammar rules, and sometimes you can break those. Writing is fun. Maybe a better example of urban fantasy would be a book that I actually like. I love this book. I could not stop reading it. I definitely recommend it. It's Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Another example of this sort of thing, it's again branching off a little, is The Magician's Nephew. Now this book was very influential in my life just because it's the first book of the Narnia series, which is a series that I love with all of my heart and soul. When I actually first started writing when I was like 9, the first stuff I wrote was like fantasy stuff. I think if I hadn't read the Chronicles of Narnia, that probably wouldn't be true. I don't know what I'd be writing. I don't even know if I'd be writing. So basically this is the reason why we're all here. Another book that I'm finding very influential on my writing style is this. This is Who Could That Be at This Hour by Lemony Snicket, and it's part of his All the Wrong Questions series, which, as I understand it, is sort of a prequel to a series of unfortunate events. But this book kind of gave me an interest in strange things happening in small towns, which is kind of what my whole entire NaNoWriMo is about. Another book which really influenced my writing, this book, oh my goodness, this book. This is my favorite book of all the books. Flora and Ulysses by Kate DiCamillo. It is amazing, you really need to read it. But what this book taught me is that, like, if there's something you love, like a random thing, say cheese puffs. I really like cheese puffs. I know they're not healthy, but I could eat like 5,000 barrels of them probably and then die. I wouldn't mind that, actually. If there's something random like that that you love, put it in your story. And this book is a great example of someone who has done that. And the result is just amazing. There's like squirrels and vacuum cleaners and lamps and kidnappings and people with, oh my goodness, it's so great. No further explanation needed, I'm sure. Read this book if you can get your hands on it, however that happens. If you need to borrow it from the library, if you need to borrow it from a friend, if you need to buy it, ask for it for Christmas, steal it from your sister. I mean, legally adopt it after they're gone for 6 months at college, because anyone who's gone for 6 months at college and leaves their stuff in their little sister's room obviously doesn't care enough about it to want to retain it. And possession is 9/10 of the law, right? So this is legally mine, Lydia. Okay, thanks. The last book is this. This is the first writing manual that I was ever given, and it has all sorts of amazing advice. Let's just read some of the headings. Adventures with shoebox dioramas, chicken nugget sky, mood rings, the rule of 3, more about crawling lizards please, talking about illustration, don't be a bully, make an idea catcher, a recipe for mental compost, showing up on the page, belly buttons, are you an innie or an outie? Is this your idea of fun? Your words can change the world. This book influenced me so much. My mom gave it to me when I was like 10. It's written by 2 different authors, Anne Mazur and Ellen Potter. Both write middle grade fiction. I would recommend this for anyone, no matter what you want to write. It is such a good basic starting point. I always keep this at my desk, and if I'm ever just not feeling into writing that day, I'll pick up and read through it for a little while, just at any random spot. It always picks me up out of my writing slump. And it smells nice too. So I guess what I'm saying is that this is my story. This is my NaNoWriMo. These are all the main things that have... Oh man, what are you doing here? Cassandra Clare, get out. No, we don't like you. Well, these are the main things that have influenced my NaNoWriMo. So basically, my NaNoWriMo is a rural fantasy about strange things happening in a small town with a magic death book and a lot of junk food and a girl who's microwaving her friend's phone. That's as far as I've gotten. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go meet today's word count. Peace out.
Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision